Graphic novels. What are they really? Well, a couple of seconds on Google will tell you that they're a novel compressed into a visual form, a format used to convey the idea of a character and their surroundings without the need to concoct a thought for yourself. Essentially, the lazy man's read. Made for the quick fix of fiction in 60 pages or more, whereas the traditional sense of storytelling is structured by the dreaded verbiage that scares the bejesus out of your average child these days, if it's anything more than 260 characters.
And from the festering brine of the darkest darkness crawled forth monsters of such vile nature.
A style of writing that's entranced readers for generations with mere words and descriptions as their only guides into the worlds envisioned by the writers. Books have often been used as a frame of reference to inspire future retellings or adaptations for screen to either niche or popular material like the Chronicles of Narnia, Harry Potter, Lord of the Flies, Lord of the Rings, and even Hunger Games. So as you can tell, a lot can come from a book, but what about graphic novel? Well, I disagree with the oversimplification of what Google makes it out to be. I feel they are a means to access the writer's mind and admittedly make an easier means to immerse yourself, but honestly, they are designed to transport you into that world, that universe, that character, that moment with an accurate, detailed, and colourful display of what they intended you to see. Think about it, when you read a book, it's not often you tend to consider much else beyond what you're offered, whereas with a graphic novel, you can see the characters' expressions, the environment around them, understand the tone and atmosphere of the moment with vivid depictions of situations as they unfold.
So beautiful.
Allowing you to make better assessments of scenes, moments, and decisions. Almost like you're watching it play out, and from what you can see, sparks conversations about even background characters in one frame or another.
No, he's got a point.
And it's for these sentiments and reasons that I figured I'd throw one of these out occasionally. A look at some overlooked gems to come from some of the best writers out there in my mind, with the spotlight shifting to them and their ideas that they formulated. Starting of course with Star Wars.
You didn't see that coming.
But a personal favourite of mine, with possibly one of the best and most intriguing plot points to come from the Clone Wars era in its final days. That presents a fascinating concept that we've yet to come back to, especially as despite its legend status is still considered canon by many, including myself, given Death Watch's power-hungry involvement in all this, all mixed with a mystery wrapped up within an enigma. As I feel this deserves your attention, I'm not going to deep dive into the beat-by-beat aspects of the plot, but instead focus on the curiosities of this one. Defenders of the Lost Temple is a tale that introduces and focuses on both a clone trooper named Glitch and a Jedi apprentice named Renax, questioning the lives that were assigned to them.
I'm listening.
Glitch questions the possibility of being able to wield the Force, and after a harrowing experience involving the Death Watch that seemingly brings about his demise, is later revealed to just be a scratch, as he survived by wielding an ancient dark side relic with protective capabilities but a ruinous history, ironically of which both he, his squad and Jedi leadership were initially sent in search of, but it didn't taint him. From this experience though, he takes with him the possibility, or belief at least, that he could be Force sensitive or attuned to its very essence.
Impressive.
And as for Renax, she discusses the life she was plonked into with the trooper as opposed to being provided the choice to leave her family or not, casting a shadow of doubt over the way the Jedi operate and how their recruitment agency works. Firstly, let's give the writer Justin Aclin and inker Ben Bates credit for producing a vibrant and captivating story, rich with subtext that spotlights our beloved clone troopers as they question both their lineage and existence in an endearing and viable way. Then the subplot of a young Jedi who was, without saying it in so many words, ripped away from her family and forced into a life with supposedly a greater need for her.
Shut it!
When I heard about the plot of this one, I was immediately hooked before even turning a page, and I'm pleased to say that this holds up as both a comical time with intense moments, and it manages to escape the banality of common stories to come from a galaxy far, far away, without feeling devoid of consequence or legitimate concern. I'm always up for a good clone trooper tale, and this one gives it to us in spades, with Glitch questioning his existence and another trooper named Horns attempting to align with the lineage he feels the clones have inherited as a byproduct of a Mandalorian, unless we forget the Padawan coming to the revelation that they no longer wish to live the life thrust upon them.
Some men are born great. Others have greatness thrust upon them.
This whole novel in my mind assesses the ideas of duty versus desire, legacy versus life. Can a clone become more than they are designed for? Does the Force truly surround all life forms? Can anyone tap into it? Or is it reliant on midichlorians? How should a person feel after being pressed into the life of a Jedi? Does a Force sensitive have to become a Jedi?
I can't believe your head exploded.
All interesting questions that are left for speculation, which allows for the reader to continue processing the themes of the story after, and essentially ponder the greater significance of the Jedi's intentions for the sake of their legacy, where they're seemingly happy to destroy one life to continue their own, drawing on the basis I believe this book focuses on, a Jedi's duty versus desire. This falls in line with the story told for Glitch, as he wishes to understand more of the lineage to the Jedi, whereas Renax wants out. The intention of this novel is a good time of outlandish visuals like Glitch engaging Pre-Vizsla in a lightsaber duel, and some bizarre talking points, with, as I mentioned, Horns' side plot leading him to a confrontation with Vizsla that makes him question whether or not he wants to acknowledge that part of his legacy. But it's all written with sincerity and curiosity, as if the writer is questioning these ideas himself, and it's all illustrated perfectly with recognisable designs. And from this, it adds a deeper meaning to how far Pre-Vizsla would go to reclaim Mandalore as to hunt for an ancient relic that has the ability to make the wearer invincible. The Gauntlet of Krish the Younger has a storied history to it dating back to the Old Republic within Legends, and was essentially a device crafted by a father for his son as a means of protection. But after becoming involved in a war of that time, it had been lost for millennia until its discovery here. And during the novel, we see Master Bink Utrilla just touch it, and she's shaken by the very essence of it. And a group of creatures that had cocooned themselves around it absorbed its protective capabilities by sheer proximity, making them almost indestructible, so you can tell it's not a device to be taken lightly.
Well, that's fucking not good.
The idea of Vizsla claiming that would have been an interesting timeline to follow though, especially with the Darksaber being heralded up to the Mandalorian's first season as the legacy of Mandalore, and a means for the leader to be decided. So to replace that with a device that could create impervious leaders is actually unsettling, but I still would have been curious to see what it could become on screen. The very idea of this was fascinating to explore, and was often something I mull over in my youth about the life of a clone and if they could become a Force wielder. I think there's an interesting contrast established here too, where we see Glitch wishing to become a Jedi whereas Renax wants out. Both almost want the opposite of each other. Renax wants out of her service, a choice that has often been reserved for the clones in canon material where they wish for more beyond blind servitude, whereas Glitch longs for a different path of servitude, one where he feels more connected, more aligned to a life none of his kind would be allowed to achieve. Overall, I think this is a fantastic story that presents some genuinely thought-provoking conversations that could work well within the parameters of a standard book too, but you'd miss out on all the stunning visuals with a comfortable art style to top it off, and a breezy pace laced with some solid attempts at humour. The entertaining part that I found whilst reading this though was hearing all the characters in my head, from Vizsla to Bo to the clones, and generating an accent and tone for our two Jedi as well made this an incredibly mesmerising experience that I honestly think you should go out of your way to read. That's gonna do it from me though. If you liked this video, please be sure to hit the thumbs up and tell me if you'd like more of these. Be sure to subscribe, and until next time everybody, take care, and may the Force be with you.